Hi friends, welcome to Non-Functional Club. In this session, we will continue with part 3 of MobSF. If you have not watched previous sessions, request you to first watch part 1 and 2, where we have covered MobSF in details and its installation process using Docker. Also, we have done detailed analysis of Android APK static report using MobSF. In today's session, we will see how to analyze an iOS or Apple IPA file using static scan of MobSF. We will discuss in detail about each component of the report and see how we can find vulnerabilities and make our application less vulnerable before release. Before starting with the report analysis, I would like to call out the developer of Vault application, Mr. Kundan Zadav. The IPA which we will be using for scan is older version of the application, so which had few vulnerabilities present. We have used MobSF and taken care of the vulnerabilities, and now this application is available on App Store for iOS users. I have given the link in the description section for Vault app download. So let's begin. So now we are totally aware of two basic commands for MobSF using Docker. So first one is used to pull the latest image of MobSF, and second one is used to launch the image on 8000 port. Today we'll be using Docker Desktop for our particular iOS analysis. If you are using Docker Toolbox, you can basically run this particular command in Docker Quick Start Terminal, and then you can launch MobSF using HTTP the Docker IP colon the port. So you can get Docker IP from Docker Quick Start Terminal. Let's begin with Docker Desktop. So to launch MobSF, we'll just first start the image in the container. So once this image is launched in the container on port 8000, we can open it in browser using this button. We'll click on this. Now you can see MobSF is hosted on web application or our browser. There are two options to import the IPA or APK file. So we can upload it, or we can just drag and drop the file from the file location we have. So for now, we'll click on upload and analyze. We need to scan this particular IPA file. So I'll open this. Now the analysis is in progress. So while analysis, MobSF will extract the whole IPA file and then give us a detailed report, an analytical report for static analysis of that particular IPA. To start with, we will get all the basic information related to the IPA file as we had previously got for the APK. So here it will give us file information with respect to file name, the size of the file, its MD5, its SHA, and its SHA-256. With respect to app information, it will give us app name, app type, its identifier, the SDK name, its version, its build, its platform version, and the minimum OS support which we have, and the supported platforms. Next, it will give us the binary information in terms of the architecture used and the sub architecture with its byte. So moving on to next, we have App Store information. Whenever an IPA is sent for review to App Store, developer has to provide all the information regarding the IPA file. So here we have, with respect to that particular information, all the information is tracked using MobSF. So we have title, score, features, price, category under which the IPA falls, the App Store URL, developer name, developer ID, the website, then the developer URL, and all the supported devices for this particular IPA file. Then we have detailed section of description with respect to the features the IPA is going to provide. Moving on to next, we have scan options. So as we had seen for the APK file, there we used to do the code analysis. Similarly, here we have few options with respect to IPA file. So first one is view info plist. So every app and plugin uses an info plist file to store configuration data in place where the system can easily access it. With respect to Mac OS and iOS uses info.plist files to determine where icon to display for a bundle, what document types an app supports, and many other behaviors that have an impact outside the binary file. So we can go through this whole info.plist file and check if any additional or missing information is present in the file, and that can be mitigated. Next we have view strings. So this basically gives us all the strings which are present in the application. We can go through this particular section and eradicate if any string is missing or added additionally in the IPA file. Similar to what we had code analysis for APK, here we have view class dump. For now, MobSF does not support view class dump section for Swift applications. So even if we open it, it will display it as blank. Moving on to next, we have custom URL schemes. In layman terms, custom URL schemes are the URL used to navigate to our app by some link or button or plain URL. For example, when we click a link in an iPhone and that launches the App Store. So that particular behavior is used or is generated using custom URL schemes. So here MobSF will display list of custom URLs which are used in the IPA file. So we can segregate or we can identify if there are some missing custom URL schemes or if few are added which are not required in the IPA. Moving on to next, we have application permissions. So here MobSF displays all the permissions used by the application. Frequently it happens that developer forgets to remove some permission which was added previously and it is not used in the current version. As we get the whole list of permissions with its criticality, it becomes easy to close or remove certain permission which are not required by the application. Here in an iOS section, we also get the reason which is fetched or which is fetched from the manifest file. And that particular reason identifies why the permission is being used in this particular IPA. So for example, if we talk about the permission camera usage description, the status is set to dangerous. So whenever we talk about particular status which is set to dangerous for a permission, so particularly that is not dangerous for the application. This status is always present here with which talks with respect to the permission that this particular permission is vulnerable to attacks. Now whenever we are setting up such permissions, we should be aware that why this particular permission is set and how this can be still kept secure. So if we see the reason which is placed in the application by developer, so we have app would like to access your photo gallery to import photos and videos to Vault. Also, with security aspect, your photos or videos won't be shared without your permission. So whenever we are going to share or whenever we are going to place these photos or videos to some other application, user will always be asked with the permission. So in this way, we can analyze if certain permission is really harmful in our application or if certain permission is added incorrectly, and we can mitigate the same. Moving on to next, we have app transport security, that is ATS. So with the release of iOS 9, Apple introduced a new feature called app transport security, which enforces security connection between an app and web services. So this will make sure that all the connections which is made between app and web services are secure. In most cases, user should build apps with ATS enabled. If you have a need to connect to non-secure URLs, then you can submit your ATS exceptions along with justification to Apple App Store review. If the justification is correct and well enough justified, then that particular IPA will be considered in the App Store. Next section we have IPA binary code analysis. So as the name suggests, this section does analysis of code and lists down any issues and information gathered from all code files. So all the files which are present in the code is scanned here. This section uses standards like CVSSV2. So it stands for Common Vulnerability Scoring System Calculator. Then we have CWE, which is Common Weakness Enumeration. And along with that, we have OWASP Top 10 and OWASP MAS VS. So all these four standards are used to scan the code analysis of each and every file in the IPA. So it will give us the severity, like it will first place us with the issues, it will give the severity and the description in which this particular issue is found. So this comes in very much handy for code analysis of the whole IPA file. We can make changes which certainly will make our application more secure. So wherever we get the issue, it will state in a very user friendly manner. Like if you can see here, binary makes use of insecure APIs. So all the APIs which are insecure will be also listed here. Developer can easily access this particular APIs and make changes with respect to changing this particular APIs with respect to its version or with respect to its code and making it non-vulnerable. So for this particular IP also we have taken the action and made our files or made our APIs non-vulnerable with respect to the code analysis. Moving on, next we have IPA binary analysis. So after the code analysis, we have binary analysis about which will talk about all signatures, encryption, RPath, code signature, then its stack canary, symbol stripped. So all these sections in the binary which should be properly identified or properly scanned before releasing the IP itself that are present here. So it will give us the status of this particular sections with protection. So all this protection should be enabled when our application is actually deployed. So here if we see, for example, encrypted was set to false previously for this particular IPA, and it clearly states a warning that is the binary is not encrypted. So we should always encrypt our binary before releasing it. Similarly, we have set for RPath and symbol stripped. So you'll have total information of how we can mitigate the risk with respect to the binary or with respect to the protection warning we are getting here. Moving on to next, we have file analysis. So with respect to file analysis, here we have a list of all the files present in the IPA file. We can go through the list and check if any sensitive file is kept open or listed which can cause an attack on the binary going forward. So here we get whole list of the files with its path. So where all these particular files are present, we'll get it. Moving on to next, this is an interesting section about server locations. So this section displays map of server locations of all the domains which are present in the IPA file. So here it will just list or show it to us visually through map. If we just navigate through all these particular locations, we will even get the location with country name wherever it is present. To elaborate this server location section for domains, we have domain malware check. So all the locations which are present in this particular map, we will have it present here with its details, with the detailed domain name, its status. Then we'll have the geolocation parameters as well with respect to the IP used, its country, its region, its city, latitude, longitude, and the map. So basically what happens when we talk about domain malware check, MobSF has its own library where it will scan all this domain and clearly specify if the domain is good or bad with respect to the library identification which is present in MobSF itself. So here we'll get the list of all the domains which are present in the application. Now, as an analysis of this domain, we should check whether any domain which we have given in the IPA is bad. If it is bad, we should properly segregate that particular domain. We should remove it and replace it with the one which is good. Moving on to next, that is URL section. This section will provide us the list of URLs with their file in which they are present. We can clearly identify if any incorrect or if there is any missing URL in the related file and make changes accordingly. So here we can see the list of all the URLs with its files present. Next we have Firebase database. So basically this is Firebase URL with its details. So this section specifies if the application is using Firebase database and it displays URL for the same and the details for which this connection is used by the application. So if we see here, this is the URL for Firebase and there is an information which speaks that app talks to Firebase database. Moving on to next section, we have emails. So this section gives the list of email IDs with file name. We can verify if any email which is present in the list is incorrect. So here we can clearly identify with respect to the file present that if this particular file should have this particular emails present. Next we have libraries. This section gives list of all the libraries which are present in the binary under analysis with the path in the file system of the IPA. This again is an important section to identify if any incorrect or any missing libraries are present in this particular section and those can be removed. Usually there are many third-party libraries which are used by the developers. So it makes it incorrect or incompatible with respect to the analysis. So if any libraries are vulnerable and we are getting it in the list, we can remove it. So as above, if we check with the files section, this section gives us detailed list of all the files which are present in the binary. We can check if any like sensitive file or any additional file is placed in the binary and can be removed if needed. Here it is a detailed list of all the files which are present in the binary and definitely an action can be taken to remove those files. Also, as seen previously too, there is very nice navigation section applied or present in this particular menu section. So we can navigate to whichever field or whichever parameter in this particular report. As this report is huge, we can properly navigate to any particular section we want. Also, there is segregation based about security analysis, malware analysis, and about reconnaissance, which talks about URL, Firebase DB, and emails. Also, we can directly navigate to libraries files. And again, one more feature which MobSF provides is if we click on PDF report, it will formulate and create a proper PDF report of this particular analysis and present it to us. This particular report can be further on sent through emails or through any sharing medium to all the required stakeholders and this can be further analyzed. We can save it and obviously we can share it. So this is particularly all the information in details which is required with respect to MobSF iOS app scan analysis. So that's about static analysis of iOS application using MobSF. Stay tuned for next sessions on more interesting security and performance tools. Don't forget to subscribe Non-Functional Club channel. Thank you.